Hello, hello. My name is Dave McGard. This is Property Value. I talk about commercial real estate focused on South Florida. But today, let's start with a national thing. Everybody, yesterday, the Feds hiked up the rates 25 bips. It was already really intact. But the big thing was that they were talking about doing it another 6 times coming into 2023. So let's see how the Fed funds actually, the rate affects you. The federal fund rate, which is set by the central bank, is the interest rate at which banks borrow and lend to one another overnight. Although that's not the rate that consumers pay, the Fed's moves still affect the borrowing and saving rates they see every day. One single quarter point rate hike from near zero levels will have a minimum impact on household finances, McBride noted. However, this is just the beginning, he added. The cumulative I don't know how to say that word. Effect of the rate hikes is what is really going to have an impact on the economy and household budgets. Borrowing gets more expensive. Long-term fixed mortgage rates are already edging higher. Since they are influenced by the economy and inflation, the average 30-year fixed rate home mortgage is now above 4% and is likely to keep climbing, according to Jacob Channel, senior economic analyst at LendingTree. A $300,000 30-year fixed-rate mortgage would cost you about $1,400 a month at a 4% rate. If you paid 4.5 instead, then the same loan would cost $131 a month more, or another $1,572 each year, and $47,000 over the life of the loan. Many homeowners with adjustable rate mortgages or home equity lines of credit, which are pegged to the prime rate, will be more directly affected. Most ARMs adjusted once a year, while a home equity line of credit or a HELOC adjusts immediately. Anyone with a variable rate loan may want to refinance now into a fixed rate, said Mark Schneiber, managing director of Oxygen Financial in Boston. There may not be another opportunity. Shorter-term borrowing rates, particularly on credit cards, will also quickly head higher. Since most credit cards have a variable rate, there's a direct connection to the Fed's benchmark, so expect your APR to rise within a billing cycle or two. If you owe $5,000 on a credit card with an APR of 19% and put $250 a month towards the balance, it will take 25 months to pay it down and cost you $1,000 in interest charges. If an APR edges up 20%, you'll pay an extra $73 in interest. A single quarter point rate increase isn't likely to flip cardholders' financial world upside down. However, all rate hikes, even small ones, are unwelcome news for folks with credit card debt, said Mark Schultz, chief credit analyst for LendingTree. Borrowers could call their card issuer and ask for a lower rate, switch to a zero interest balance, transfer credit card, or consolidate and pay off high interest credit cards with a low interest personal loan, Schultz advised. Even though auto loans are fixed, payments are getting bigger because the price for all cars is rising. So if you're planning to finance a new car, you'll shell out more in a year ahead. Car buyers taking out loans for a new vehicle borrowed an average of $39,000 in 2021, an increase over $4,000 from a year earlier, according to Experian. As a result, monthly loan payments hit a record high of $644. A quarter percentage point difference on $40,000 loan is about $5 a month, or another $300 over the life of the 5-year loan. Still, the Fed's rate increase likely will not have any material effect on what rate you get, said Bankrate's McBride. Nobody is going to have a downsize from the SUV to the compact because of the interest rates. Federal student loan rates are also fixed, so most borrowers won't be impacted immediately by a rate hike. However, if you have a private loan, those loans may be fixed or have a variable rate tied to the LIBOR, prime, or T-bill rates, which means that as the Fed raises rates, borrowers will likely pay more in interest, although how much more may vary by the benchmark. That makes this a particular good time. Identify the loans you have outstanding and see if refinancing here makes sense as well. Savers get a better return. While the Feds have no direct influence on deposit rates, they tend to be correlated to change in the target federal fund rate. As a result, the savings account rate at some of the largest retail banks have been hovering near rock bottom, currently a mere 0.06% on average. Even as the Fed starts to raise its benchmark rate, deposit rates will be much slower to respond. Many banks are not going to be passing along higher rates to savers, so where you have your money parked is going to be really important, McBride said. More from personal finance, thanks in part to lower overhead expenses, the average online savings account rate is at least 3 times higher than the average rate from a traditional brick and mortar bank. If you have a $10,000 in regular savings account earning 0.06, you'll make just $6 in interest in a year. In an average online savings account paying 0.46, you could earn $46, while a 5-year certificate of deposit could pay nearly twice as much, according to depositaccounts.com. However, because the inflation rate is now higher than all of those rates, any money in savings loses purchasing power over time. Let me repeat that. Any money in savings loses purchasing power over time. Look for other options with better rates, advised Yaming Ma, an assistant finance professor at Columbia University Business School, such as money market funds, bond mutual funds, or bond exchange traded funds. There are alternatives out there that will require taking on more risk, but with increasing returns, she said, as long as you're somewhat shielded from the recent market volatility. Set aside enough cash to cover everyday expenses so you are protected against the big ups and downs, Mess said. The rest can be invested in something that can get a good long-term return. So that's how it's going to affect us. Now, on a local note, let's read this one. Apartments near Brightline. Brightline is the train that connects Miami to Fort Lauderdale to West Palm, and it's supposed to go all the way to Orlando in the near future. Apartments near Brightline to sell for over $400 million. This is an article on the South Florida Business Journal by Brian Bandel. An affiliate of Harbor Group International acquired the Parkline Miami apartment towers near the Brightline passenger rail station in one of the biggest apartment deals in South Florida history. A source familiar with the deal said the prices was between $400 million and $500 million. The transaction has set to be recorded in the county records. Miami-based Florida East Coast Industries sold 816 apartments and two 30-story towers at 100 Northwest 6th Street. They sit atop the rail platform at the train station, giving residents access to both Brightline's southernmost station and at its food court. Norfolk, Virginia-based HGI teamed with New York-based Chamley's International Group on the purchase. Robin Given, Troy Blanchard, Zachary Zackley of Cushman Wakefield presented the seller in the deal after listing property for a sale at $500 million in the fall of 2021. That they came close to the listing price shows how much multifamily values have increased in Miami. The pace of rent growth in the city is among the fastest in the country. For HGI, this deal gives it a combined 1,100 units in 5 apartment complexes in Miami-Dade County. The Parkline Miami investment represents a unique opportunity to acquire a world-class asset in a desirable, high-growth location with accessibility to major employment drivers and direct elevator access to all major regional and local transportation modes, said Richard Litton, president of HGI. We are confident that the business environment in South Florida and Miami especially will continue to thrive, and high demand for luxury residential, transit-oriented developments will continue to soar as Miami marks its own one of the most prominent international cities. Parkline Miami was completed in 2020. Amenities include 2-acre pool deck with cabanas, outdoor movie screen, 3,500 square feet of fitness center, yoga lawn, quarter-mile running track, dog park, pet spa, grilling stations, a co-working center, club room, package lockers, bike stores. They've got it all. The Brightline rail connects to Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach with stations under construction, Aventura, Boca Raton, Orlando. In pre-COVID, they were even talking about a stop in Stewart and in Fort Pierce. The FECI capitalized on the increased density near the Brightline station to build some major projects, and it has sold many of them. It sold the 2 and 3 Miami Central office buildings in 2019 and the Parkline apartments in West Palm Beach in late 2020. It sold 2 development sites near its Fort Lauderdale station in July. It also has an additional land near its Miami station listed for sale. Transmodal development here and doing well. One last article for today, March 17, 2022. Hope everyone's having a happy St. Patrick's Day. This one states, Invisible Cities. What metaverse developers are building. A look at some of the notable projects and players in the brave new world of virtual real estate. Virtual real estate. Here it is. Here's our picture of it. I don't know. Let's see what's got going on it. 2 homes for the price of 1. That's what Gabe Sierra's pitched to the family real estate business. South Florida-based Sierra Development would build a luxury home in Miami and one-to-one replica in a virtual world, then auction them off as a package, a real one and a real virtual one. The idea was the buyer would maintain complementary lives in both, a regular life in the brick and mortar home and a jet-setting digital version in the other, hosting virtual gatherings with pals from around the world and teleporting to others in far-flung reaches of the metaverse. Sounds pretty cool so far. Sierra was convincing. Later this year or earlier next, the company will auction the 9-bedroom, 11,000 square foot Miami mansion, which it says it's under construction in an undisclosed location. Together with its digital twin in a popular metaverse called the Sandbox, the company and One Sotheby International Realty, the listing agent, expects this meta real duo to fetch 8 figures. I don't think that everybody necessarily believes in it or gets it, said One Sotheby's president Daniel de la Vaga, but the technology is moving very fast. Sierra won't stop there. His new sister company, Meta Residence, has acquired the equivalent of about 40 acres in the Sandbox for additional homes and other potential projects, including condos, commercial space. It's a bet that the material world and metaverse will coverage to create a new economic sphere. Some big names in the commercial real estate, including Jamestown's Michael Phillips, already sees the business evolving that way. On New Year's Eve, Jamestown hosted a virtual ball drop at a digital twin of its 26-story New York City tower, One Times Square. The future of real estate is the thoughtful integration of virtual and physical worlds, optimized for user experience, Philip says. Pretty interesting what's going on and what they're creating in the metaverse. Being a commercial real estate appraiser, I don't know how they're valuing it, but looks like it's taken off and nobody's stopping it. I'm David McGard. This is Property Value. Thank you for listening today on St. Patrick's Day. Hope everyone has a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.